Welcome, welcome. Good morning, everyone. I am Archana Avinash, and it's a Saturday morning, and you chose to be here with us today to be a part of this insightful discussion we're going to have. And so, from the office of the Club Growth Director and our team, I'd like to extend a thank you from the bottom of our hearts to all of you present here. So thank you again. And before we start, can I request you all, if you are a part of a club, to rename yourselves with your name underscore your club name. That's a small request. And if you've done that, thank you. So we'll be able to acknowledge you and your club going forward. So let me start with this one here. Right now, I'm feeling extremely grateful. It's a Saturday morning, right? How are you feeling? Can you type in one word you're feeling in the chat box and I'll read a few of them out? How are you feeling? One word. Srihari says hungover. Usha says great. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have Ashish who's saying he's a little sleepy. All right. Maria is excited. Lovely. Okay. We have a few people who are a little hungover, but yes, I think the panel discussion will open your minds and your eyes wide. Suja says she's curious. Yes, so are we to looking forward to a discussion. Hiba says freshed up with podcasts. Oh, okay. Daryl, that's for you, I think. We've had a great discussion yesterday, so thank you. Yes. Any other words? One word? How you're feeling today? Did I leave anyone out? Okay, no. All right. Great. All right. Thank you. Thank you for this. And just before we start, I want to acknowledge the presence of our district director. Thank you, ma'am, for being a part of this discussion today. And I'd also like to all of us would love to listen to what you have to say. So the very gracious Art District Director, Savita Salian, with us today. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Archana. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I'm delighted to be here, Archana, at this panel discussion on the conduct of this open house meeting. Now, open house meetings are a fantastic way to showcase the power of public speaking and leadership development to our community. They provide a platform for prospective members to experience firsthand the supportive and inspiring environment of Toastmasters. So I'm excited to have such a distinguished panel of Toastmasters with us today to share their insights and experience. I'm confident that this discussion will provide valuable guidance for all our clubs in organizing successful open house meetings. So before we delve into the discussion, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to our esteemed moderator, our club growth director, DTM Natasha, for taking the initiative to organize this panel. Dear Natasha, your dedication to Toastmasters is always on display at every event you organize. So kudos to you on that. We have an elite panel of speakers, DTMs, Meera Rao, Usha Rajan, Arundhati, and Abhijit. So deep appreciation to you for generously sharing your expertise and time with us. Your contribution to this discussion will undoubtedly benefit our entire district. An open house is basically what it sounds like, an open invitation to visit your Toastmasters home and see what you do. It's one of the most reliable tools for recruiting new members. So successful clubs have a blend of both experienced and new members. So if your club needs a boost of fresh folks, one of the most popular way to do that is to hold an open house, a Toastmasters meeting where prospective members are invited to attend. While all Toastmasters meetings are open to visitors, the open house emphasizes the benefits of Toastmasters to prospective members. So the goal is to attract a large number of guests, with a portion of them joining as members. So themes may revolve around an upcoming holiday or sporting event, a television show, or favorite hobbies. A theme gives the added benefit of a relatable way to market the event, garner excitement, and add pizzazz to the open house itself. So I remember reading somewhere, if you want to have 50 people in the room, do enough marketing to attract 100 people. The plan is to attract as many guests as possible and to convert as many as possible into members. So, dear friends, I encourage all of you to engage actively with the panelists, ask questions, and share your own experiences. Let's make this a fruitful and informative session. Thank you, and I look forward to a stimulating discussion. Over to you, Archana.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Savita. As always, insightful, extremely eloquent, I must say. Thank you for your presence again. And we also have our Program Quality Director, distinguished Toastmaster, Gokul with us. And how can we let him go without not addressing us? So Gokul, thank you for being here. And we'd love to hear what you have to say this morning to all of us.
Thank you so much, Archana. I'm right now on a travel, but I did not want to miss this wonderful session by our Club Grow Director and the entire team at the Club Grow Director's office. I'm reminded of one story which I had the opportunity to share during the installation ceremony of one of the recent clubs that we have chartered. I still recall years back in my home club, we had a guest walk in as part of an open house. The guest seemed a little too frightened. They could not even step up and speak a word. While invited for self-introduction, they were scared as to whether they'll be able to go to the stage and then speak a word. Let us stop that story there and move to something else. Approximately a month back, I was asked by my company, Tata Consultancy Services, to attend a management association talk representing the organization. As always, I was ready. I reached the event spot well ahead of time, and I was waiting for the session to begin. Right then, someone patted on my back and asked me, Gokul, do you remember me? To be honest, at that point, I could not realize the person because it was years after I moved out from my very first club where I met this person. The person introduced himself as, let's say, because the person does not want to disclose their name, Natasha. The person introduced themselves as Natasha and told me, Gokul, I was this person in that club who was very frightened. And today, through Toastmasters, I'm a very confident speaker. My memory is so poor that something did not click me still. It was minutes later when the speaker was introduced on stage that I remember this is the speaker that they were talking about. Natasha is the speaker, the member of my club long back, who is today the speaker whom I'm here to listen to. Think about it. Years before, the person was so scared and couldn't speak a word. But years later, there is a confident speaker all of us are eagerly waiting to listen to. This is what I call transformation through Toastmasters. And this is the power of open houses, is what I strongly, firmly believe. Many of us here are here through open houses, and this is the potential that it could have. We'd love to listen from the panelists as to what are the different aspects that we can look at. Thank you, Natasha, for organizing such a session and having us all here. Back to you, Archana, to take it forward.
Thank you, Gokul. I also want to extend a warm welcome to all the district officers who are here, past leaders who are here with us today. Your presence means so much to all of us. So let's get started, let's get moving. But before the start of a session, just a couple of things that we need to be mindful of. Please put yourselves on mute and wait for your turn to speak, because this would ensure that we have a smooth discussion. Number two, please rename yourselves. For those who joined in just now, please rename yourselves to your name _ your club name. This would mean we will know which club you're representing. And number three, at the end of the panel discussion, we do have, we are going to open the floor for questions. So do have your questions ready in case they are not answered during the course of this session. So let's get started with this. I can't wait to hear some of these experienced panelists speak about something which is so important to all of us in the Toastmasters world. I read somewhere that open houses open doors to new members. So to learn the nuances of an open house and to understand or get more insights about it, we have an eminent panel of experienced Toastmasters today. And to moderate this discussion, who else better than our own club growth director who can moderate it for us? So I have the privilege and the honor to introduce today's moderator, who can light up an entire space with her smile. We all know how approachable she is. Somebody who's been in Toastmasters from 2001, carries immense experience with her, and she brings to the table what we call that talent, of course, but the eloquence that comes with being a Toastmaster. So thank you for being here today, Natasha, and over to you for what we would love to listen to from now on. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Archana. That was a very beautiful introduction, very motivating on a Saturday morning. I would once again like to acknowledge the presence and support offered by our District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita Salyan, our Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Gokul Menon, the members of the top 8 and the District Executive Council, our area directors, division directors, leaders past and present, and of course, all the members of District 121 that are here today to learn and share their learnings about open house. So growth, they say, is never by mere chance. It is the result of forces working together. And dear leaders, dear members of District 121, by your presence here today, you have reiterated that this is what you too believe in. And this is a result, an open house is a result of all of us working together for the growth of our clubs, our areas, our divisions, and thus the growth of Toastmasters. Thank you once again for being here today. And I'm honored and humbled to be joined by a panel of 4 distinguished Toastmasters, all who are here. They bring with them immense experience and immense learnings that they are here to share with us today. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our first panelist on stage. For me personally, the introduction, besides what she's given me, is she's like the mother of Toastmasters in Trivandrum. She is the charter and founder member of Trivandrum Toastmasters, the first ever Toastmasters club in Trivandrum. And after that, she's been a part of the chartering team for more than 12 clubs. Charter member itself of 6 clubs, winner of the Outstanding Toastmaster of the Year award, bagged the Triple Crown several times. But she joined Toastmasters to improve her communication and leadership skills. And today, here she is, 12 years later, mentoring and guiding so many of us. Besides Toastmasters, there's so much more that she does: painting, swimming, dance, music, driving, lawn tennis, badminton. She says she's a jack of all but master of none. I disagree. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome our first panelist on stage, distinguished Toastmaster Usha Rajan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a great introduction.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Our next panelist here is another distinguished Toastmaster. And if you thought that practicing medicine was something that if you are practicing medicine, Toastmasters is not for you, then this is the person you need to look up to. We have with us a practicing pediatrician by profession. She's actually, I got to know that she's been a pediatrician for some of our district leaders here too. So that's how long she has been serving the community. A passionate Toastmaster for the past 4 years. She's taken up several leadership roles. She's a past area director. She's served as, of course, club officer multiple times. Outstanding Toastmaster of Division L. Again, a lady who loves sport and reading. Please join me in welcoming distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Meera Rao.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Natasha, and good morning to all.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. All right, moving on to someone who's a dear friend of mine. I am so enticed by her smile and her eloquence. She calls herself a true people lover, and I truly believe that she is one. She says that Toastmasters is the best place to connect with unique minds, make friends, and learn together. Yes, she is the district champion in the international speech contest, table topic contest, and the district runner-up in the evaluation contest for the year 2021 at District 92. She's taken up several club officer and district leadership roles. A past district finance manager. She says she's an absolute workaholic. I totally agree because our communications with her are usually at 1 a.m. in the morning. She works as a senior manager at the London Stock Exchange Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our third panelist, distinguished Toastmaster Arundhati Basu.
Thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you.
Okay, and of course, the lion in the room, the only gentleman on our panel, is someone who is working in the aerospace industry, a mentor to many, and the past Division J director at District 121. He's been a part of Toastmasters for multiple years, for the last 6 years, and he finds Toastmasters as a playground to test his skills. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the very charming man in the room, the very brave, distinguished Toastmaster, Abhijit Singh.
Thank you, DDM Natasha.
Maybe we should have Abhijit in the middle of all the women. Very strategically placed on the poster by our public relation manager, Daryl Roderick. If you notice, if you haven't, then go back and look at the poster. All right, so thank you so much to the panel for being here. Thank you for all our members for being here. Let's get started. So my first question, of course, is something that everybody keeps talking about. Open house. Open house is something like our district director mentioned. It is an excellent opportunity to attract new members, to showcase what value we have learned from Toastmasters, showcase the value that our clubs are offering to the community around, and of course, boost our club visibility. But what are some tried and tested practices that can help keep an open house organized and welcoming? This question I'd like to hand over to our first panelist, distinguished Toastmaster Meera. What are some tried and tested practices to keep open houses well organized and welcoming?
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Natasha. Hosting an open house is a great opportunity to showcase your club, attract new members, and also create a welcoming atmosphere. The tried and tested practices to conduct an open houses, I would like to divide it into 3 parts. That is, 1, plan your open house well ahead, at least 4 to 5 weeks ahead. Set an objectives, that is, look into whom you're going to invite. If yours is a community club, then you'll have to invite public. If it's a college club, then college students and staff of the club. If it's a corporate club, then in that particular business area, wherever you are conducting the open house. Second is you'll have to promote the event. And how do you promote this event? Through flyers, social media, word of mouth, and also through email. And also encourage your club members to bring in members. Request them that each member brings in 1 guest. Also prepare your agenda. A well-organized agenda definitely will help to conduct the open house smoothly. Second thing is, on the day of meeting, how are you going to plan it? You greet the guests warmly, make them feel personal. Probably you can appoint a buddy for the guests and also provide the information about the club, that is through guest package. And what are the information that's going to be in the guest packages a valuable information to understand about Toastmaster, what Toastmasters offers. It should also provide clarity and information regarding detailed information about the club, the Toastmaster program, and also benefits to join Toastmasters, how to join, cost of membership, and also benefits. Lastly, follow up of the guests is very important. Send an email to thank them for attending and also invite them for the next meeting. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Natasha.
Thank you so much, Meera ma'am. That was very insightful. I love that, how you talked about the planning before the event, during the event, and post the event. Very important strategies to follow to make sure that not just to make sure that the open house that we've organized actually has a good turnaround in our growth. You did talk about promoting the event, and here I would like to ask distinguished Toastmaster Arundhati, what are the most effective channels for promoting an open house event to enable us to reach a broader audience? We have different kinds of clubs in our district, the college clubs, corporate clubs, and community clubs. What would you think are the best ways to promote an open house event?
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Natasha. Good morning, everyone. So, right, promoting open house, I think, is imperative, and it is very dependent on what is your target audience. So, sometimes we might think it's a myth that if we have an open house, just put it on the regular channels of promotion, but it might not always work if you've not assessed where is your target audience focused. I'll give an example. For example, if you're a corporate club and you only have members who are part of your corporate, you can promote it as much as you want on WhatsApp and social media, great for visibility, but that doesn't really help in getting the right set of prospective guests. So what I would suggest is going by the type of clubs we have. If it's a corporate club, you want to use your corporate channels of communication. If you have a corporate newsletter that goes out to all staffs, the club I come from, we send one that goes out every Tuesday. Make sure that your open house is part of those newsletters. It will go to your target audience. If you have channels like a Viva Engage, a Yammer, SharePoints, whatever you are using that is used by all your corporate colleagues, you've got to make announcements there. You've got to publicize your open house there. Another effective way is also to go through business unit communications. If there are leaders that send out communications to their wider teams, you might want to plug in your upcoming open house there so that it reaches a larger audience. Likewise, for a community club, making use of channels like Instagram, like LinkedIn, like a Facebook, several WhatsApp messaging really helps. And you've got to make it very interesting so that it generates the right amount of curiosity. But those would be the effective channels. A community club which is in an apartment, you can use channels like your apartment groups with required permission, lift lobbies, flyers there. Put it in any communications that goes through the association in the community. And finally, for college clubs, of course, the most effective way is to put it in any college bulletins, college notice boards, communications that goes out from college authorities to students. So the crux of the matter is you must want to use channels that are most used by your targeted audience.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Arundhati. That's very insightful, especially when you talked about the corporate, because we've had a lot of corporate clubs saying, how do we promote our events? And I think those insights, make sure that your strategy, your promotion strategy is something where your audience is going to be looking. Thank you so much, Arundhati, for that. Now here that we've talked about getting our, promoting our event. Now, my question here to distinguished Toastmaster Usha. Usha ma'am has been chartering clubs in Trivandrum at a time when there was no social media. And here I would like to ask her, ma'am, how do you effectively identify and invite prospects who may be interested in attending an open house? How do you even identify? There are people we want guests, but how do you identify and invite those prospects for attending our open house? Over to you, Usha ma'am.
Good morning, all, once again. Mostly what we do, initially, like our own friends. They say, how can you speak whenever in a function, for example, in a function, suddenly somebody is asking you to, can you give the vote of thanks? So I say yes. So there are people who come and ask me, how is it possible? Don't you have the stage fear? So I used to say yes. I used to have, but thanks to Toastmaster, now I'm not having. That's one kind of thing. We create the need in is very important. Create the need. They have to come out to that. They want to improve their communication skill. So first we can find out from the public, from your friends group, from your relatives group who wants to improve their communication skill. So that is the first step we used to do. And those times we didn't have Instagram and Facebook and all. But there is a small column in every newspaper on the left hand side, the second page, left hand side at the bottom of the page, today's events. I'm sure every one of you must have noticed that today's events. We used to publish in the today's event every time. Whenever we conduct an open house, this today's event. Okay, it's a small 2 sentence or 3 sentence. It's absolutely free. It's a free by the newspaper agency. So you can give your program that so and so date, there's going to be an open house, a Toastmaster open house. Now, like that, we used to advertise. And like that, we used to get, because otherwise we were having a very difficult time initially to have members for Get One and Toastmasters. So there are times that we have to publicize through that. So I made a small Facebook page, of course, that time. But apart from that, no other like Instagram and all, LinkedIn, nothing was there. So this newspaper helped me a lot. Though we think it's such a small thing, nobody go read it. That is our impression. But everybody check what is today's program. Wherever is the program is there, you will get the attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha ma'am. That looks like that strategy worked magic, because you were able to charter the first 12 Toastmasters clubs by free advertising. And of course, sharing your personal stories, how Toastmasters has helped you. I think that is a great takeaway from this answer that you've given me. Thank you for that. All right. Now that we've talked about open houses, we've talked about advertising the Toastmaster in the right, finding where our audience is going to be looking. What are some unique themes or formats that can be useful or successful for an open house? Again, different types of clubs would probably require different themes, different formats. And here I like to throw this question to distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit. What are some different formats that you found successful for open houses?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Natasha, for that wonderful question. I found, I will just take example from three clubs. One was a corporate club. What I saw there, that particular club did a wonderful thing. They called a Toastmaster who was good with presentation. And they conducted a workshop not for the regular employees. They conducted a workshop for the newly joined managers who are having who are being manager for 0 to 2 years. What they did, they talked about art of presentation. The intent was not to ask these managers to join the club. The intent was these managers will go, they will motivate their team members, and they will join the club. And whole and soul theme was that next set of people, we are going to focus more on the presentation. We are going to do workshop around it as educational session in next 6 months. So for the corporate club, it was more related to the skills, how we can convince the management, and that can be cascaded to the team level. I remember in one of the district recently, I was talking to one of the Toastmasters. They talked about speed mentoring, and I was quite surprised. What is that all about? What they did, they called a couple of corporate people who are Toastmasters in their club. They called that particular event as a speed mentoring. What they did, they called the people who are in the pre-final year or final year of their colleges, and they said that these people are going to be with us for today. You are going to be divided in the group. There will be a couple of sessions on debate, how to interview, how you can proceed interview, how we can create our resumes. And they got in the ratio of 1:5, one mentor to the 5 students. They got the mentorship for entire week. Maybe they invested one day over the Zoom, one day they were in the college. In this particular manner, they were able to attract a lot of people who came here to mentor and improve their skills so that they can be good fit for placement. I remember one of the community club in Bangalore. They are situated around a lot of communities, DLF, Hiranandani and all. What they started doing there, it was all about they went to each club, they promoted a small event, Mr. or Mrs. Spontaneous for that particular club. They conducted a table topic contest for that small community. They got a chunk of audience, they promoted that particular event, and they were able to get some members on board. So, in nutshell, it's all about understanding your USP and talking about what you can do in a better way, or what you can, who is going to be your target audience. That makes more difference. So, that are the three things I saw in three different clubs.
Awesome. I love the idea of bringing in the mentors for a college club and actually setting up a workshop kind of format. Members from college clubs, listen, listen, listen. Great ideas to take away here from that. And of course, the corporate clubs, everything. So again, I think the messaging coming out here is look at what your audience wants. Look where you go conduct the event, where you promote the event, and what you include in your open house event. Focus on your audience. What is it that your audience is looking for? So here my question to Arundhati is, yes, today I know Usha ma'am talked about the time when people would read newspapers. Today we all are unfortunately spoiled by social media. How can the clubs utilize social media effectively? And I'm hoping all our clubs here are on social media, like our district, various district channels. But how can we, the clubs, utilize social media to create the buzz and engagement either before the event, during the event, after the event? Over to you, Arundhati.
Thank you so much, Natasha. I would say a open house is more like a big concert or a movie release, right? So a lot of you know Coldplay is coming to India next year, but the buzz has broken the ceilings in the news. But that is because they chose to publicize an event that is in Jan from the previous year. So first thing to do, I think, about an open house is pace it well. Ensure that you are not starting the publicizing of an open house that is happening this Friday on this Wednesday, because then you've lost half your crowd. So it's very important that you decide and give yourself enough window to publicize the event, generate that curiosity, hype up and prime your audience so that they are really looking forward and they've got enough time to plan and come and attend your open house. A lot of times people want to come, but it's so last minute that they get to know that they don't have a choice but to miss. So first thing before an open house is give yourself adequate time, whatever it is. If it's a corporate and you have a newsletter going out every week, give yourself at least 2 to 3 weeks so that it keeps going out and people know. If it's a community club, again, give yourself enough time so that you can space out and one by one release the different things that you will be doing in this open house that you're bringing for the audience over a spaced out time period. Likewise, for a college club, ensure that it's been out on the notice board, it's been out on the different channels of communication for several weeks, and people know this is coming. They have something to look forward to. Very important is do not tell it all. Keep some curiosity, have catchy titles, play some real nice games. Make sure you've built that curiosity. During an open house, very important, click enough content that you can use to publicize or rather say those thank yous after your open house, right? And instead of only focusing on your members, get videos from guests, ask them to speak for 10 seconds. Make sure you've captured moments when people are speaking to each other so that after an open house, and this is where you level up your game, instead of sending a mundane thank you note, release a reel which has just videos of guests who attended. They automatically feel part of your community, right? In your post event poster that goes out, have some pictures of guests with members collaborating. They feel included. Send a thank you personalized message which has something related to that guest who came in, because if you just say a normal thank you, it will get lost in the trail of emails we all receive every day. So you've got to do something that stands out, and you will get that content through the open house. Make sure you have a person dedicated to capture it all. Thank you, Natasha.
Awesome. I think that is absolutely enlightening. That was so great that not just like Meera ma'am talked about planning of the event, the pre-planning, the during the event and post-event, but making sure that your PR is also as effective in the pre-planning, during the open house, and after. That was a wonderful suggestion that you made, and I'm sure that we'll all be looking out for those guests. Actually appointing a PR person during an open house is a great idea. So thank you, Arundhati, for sharing that here. Uh, Usha ma'am, my next question to you here is, I know we've got people here, we've promoted our event. Now, of course, besides our social media bombarding on what happened during the open house, making them feel included, what is the best systematic follow-up approach that you can suggest from your experience?
I feel yeah, through email is good, but at the same time, handwritten notes to each attendees will make a lot of difference. A personal touch. Even in the email, if you send an email in a group email, it won't work. You have to individually name the person who came for the meeting and address to that particular person and send the mail. And moreover, call them up, personally call them up over the phone and speak to them. Would you like to join us for our next meeting? Rather than joining us for Toastmasters, you invite them to join for our next regular meeting. And after 2-3 meetings, definitely they will join us. That is my experience. So another way is there are times that even if a person attended the open house, they may not join for some time. But we have person who after open house, after 6 years after the open house conducted, he joined our club, Nanandapuri Toastmasters. So I was asking how you took this much years to convince yourself. He said, it's not that, ma'am. I had my priorities and I was not realizing that I really required to join the Toastmasters. But now he realized the need of it. That is where we have to convince the guests that each one of us has got that need to communicate well, which is going to help them in their professional life as well as in their personal life. That need is created, then it is done. You will get your members. Thank you.
I love that note, and I'm sure it would work very effectively for you of bringing in that personal touch. Everybody wants to feel appreciated and acknowledged. So that personal note of addressing a thank you, dear Usha ma'am, for being part of our meeting, and we welcome you. We would like to have you back for our next meeting. Don't just sell Toastmasters, sell the value of Toastmasters. That's a great takeaway here from you, Usha ma'am. Thanks for sharing that insight. Now we're personalizing our agendas, we're personalizing our thank you notes, we're promoting our open houses effectively. But Meera ma'am, how do we ensure that our guests, when they leave a meeting, they leave with a clear understanding of what Toastmasters has to offer to them? How do they leave with that clear understanding?
Okay. That is, first is pre-event planning has to be there. So when there's a pre-event planning, we know what is going to happen in the meeting. And also, there should be a clear explanation and concise explanation by the president, the Toastmaster of the day, who will provide a brief introduction of the Toastmasters as well as explains the meeting schedule. And he or she also highlights on the Toastmasters educational program. And there are different roles in Toastmaster meeting, and that is how you can showcase different roles and how does that benefit someone. Suppose if it's a corporate club, a community club, or a college club. See, we have what we call as accountant and grammarian, where most of us do use filler words and we do have grammatical mistakes. So that might help the guests, that is either someone from corporate club or a community club, to correct their English language. And also evaluation of a speech is where one gives a constructive feedback and a positive feedback, which definitely helps a guest who will take a positive note on Toastmasters and how Toastmasters benefits them. Also, a member testimonial, a senior member who is there in the Toastmasters can give a testimonial as to how Toastmasters helped him or her grow personally, either in their professional growth or probably in their workplace also. And it should also include guest participation, that is active interaction, probably through table topics. And that could be even a simple question could be asked to the guests where they can share their experience at their workplace. And also a question answer session. So these provide information to all the guests, and also brochures and handouts regarding the benefits of Toastmasters will definitely welcome all guests. Over to you.
Wonderful. Sharing the features, value, the benefits of Toastmasters. If you're missing these flyers, please reach out to our district PR manager. We have a lot of resources that can be shared with our clubs and our guests on the value that Toastmasters adds to us. And of course, thank you for saying, share your personal stories. Break in my voice. Hello, I'm not sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Can hear you now.
Yes, now we are audible. Yes.
Can I continue? Okay. Thank you so much. So like I was saying that we have a lot of resources and value flyers that Meera ma'am talked about, which are available on the District 121 website. If you can't find them, please reach out to our district PR manager and we'll be happy to share those resources with you, which can be handed out to all our guests in our open house meetings. All right. And of course, Meera ma'am, like you just mentioned, reiterating the personal benefits of Toastmasters that we have seen is how we can add value to what Toastmasters will bring to our guests. Thank you for that. And here now I'd like to move on. We've talked about the different kinds of open houses. There are, of course, the traditional ways of doing an open house. We heard some ideas from Abhijit a little while ago. But I'd like to ask you, Abhijit, have you seen a successful open house where we can blend in a traditional element, a traditional way of doing an open house and bring in some unique or unexpected ideas? How do you think we can do that?
Yes, I saw a couple of them when I was visiting Lucknow. I saw one in Bangalore, and I saw one of in college. So I will talk about quickly about all of them. So when I was in Lucknow, I saw that one of the Toastmasters club's flyer that was talking about Bollywood night, and being Bangalorean, talking about party, I said, okay, let's go for this. And that was a quite creative meeting. They said that we have two segments. One is about our Toastmasters meeting, which is themed around Bollywood. Post that we are also going for a party. If you want to continue with us, you can go. You can join along with us, and there is a fee or there is a charge that you need to pay for it. What I saw in that particular Toastmasters meeting, they did a table topics, and mostly they invited guests. Most of the club members who were hosting that particular meeting, they were dressing like a Bollywood star, and most of the table topics were the Bollywood movies dialogue, and people were talking about it. So imagine as a guest, I'm coming, I'm seeing something as a fun, and that was something creative I saw in that particular place. Shark Tank for a long time that came in India, people do talk about that they have a startup idea, and someone did in one of the colleges in Coimbatore, and I have been the part of the alumni from that college. I was there. What they did there, they said that we are going to have a pitch evening or startup pitch evening. Before that, we have a Toastmasters club who is going to mentor you and guide you. What they did with that particular thing, a lot of students came, they enrolled for that, and slowly they started converting their pitches into the startup pitch. And they, at the end, there was a day when they presented that particular startup pitch to set of the people. 50% of them were Toastmasters from Coimbatore, and some of them were entrepreneurs and Toastmasters. What I saw there was a high conversion rate. Entrepreneur who wants to learn communication skill, Toastmasters Club was a right place for him or her. When I talk about a person staying in Lucknow wants to have a fun and learn, that is a kind of amalgamation. This Bollywood night or the club that was quite young by heart, that was the quite interesting place for them. So these are the two things I saw in different places, and I was really mesmerized by that.
Awesome. Now I know that you're a big Bollywood fan, and of course, you're probably an entrepreneur in the making, but great ideas there. Reiterating what our district director said in the beginning, our catering our themes, having exciting themes for our open house is a good way of integrating the traditional way of conducting an open house with, bringing in some fun. That Toastmasters is not always so stiff-collared. So thank you, Abhijit, for sharing those ideas, which now I'm curious to know, Usha ma'am, how often should we conduct an open house? That's a question that a lot of clubs come back and ask. How often should we conduct open houses?
Once in 4 months. Once in 4 months, I feel, because we have to give enough time for the present open house conducted and getting members from that or starting a new club from that open house. Then give that time, 4 months time, to conduct another open house. Now, when you conduct the second open house, please call the previous open house guests also, include them also. So there some might have thinking of I should join or not. So they'll be getting a refresh ideas again for joining. So I think for once in 4 months is a good idea. And whenever your club is having some milestone meetings, for example, 50th meeting or 100th meeting, it's always best to have your open house, because your complete members, your members from that particular club will be there, available there. And along with the guests, each member can interact in the networking time. That's very important. So when we conduct an open house, many times what happens is our 50% of our club members attend. Rest are not bothered about that open house. But first we have to make sure our all members attend the open house and interact with the guest, and then you can do the follow-up easier.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I love that idea of actually integrating our open house with our milestone events. It of course gives us better ideas for PR also, and spacing out our open house gives, again, taking a cue from what Arundhati said, promoting the post open house benefits, or what happened, and reiterating those testimonials that we've got from guests. Stay connected with your guests who came for your first open house. I think that's a great idea that you have. But as a club growth director, I would probably try to sneak in and say, no, have more open houses. We have a lot of awards for open house for our clubs. You convert your guests to members, and there are awards which are awaiting you and your clubs. But yes, make sure that you integrate your open house with a milestone event at your club or at your organization or at your college, and that will help bring in a lot more guests to participate in your open house and have good interaction between the members and the guests. Thank you for that answer, Usha ma'am. Meera ma'am, here, yes, we're very excited for our open houses. We're doing really well. We want lots of guests. But how important is time management when it comes to an open house?
Yeah, time is important, and we should value time of all the audience, guests, and also members. So I would like to take it as pre-event. How can you plan this? That is, one, you set up the date, time, and location of the event, and also a well-organized agenda, because agenda is one which will help us organize the open house well on time. And secondly, on the day of meeting, I would suggest that the members or roll takers be there at the venue at least half an hour early to the program, and they should invite guests and the guests should feel free, and there should be a warm welcome to all the guests. And once the meeting starts, the Toastmaster of the day is someone who is there to guide as well as MC the meeting, and who can take us through the meeting, and is one who can manage time. So make the event a little bit interesting, more interesting, rather than having only speeches and evaluation, some fun activities for the guests, so that the guests also will take benefit of the meeting and will also enjoy the meeting and have fun. And post meeting day, please, after the meeting, talk to the guests and ask for their feedback, because that is more important, and there we come to know how we have managed our time and what is their feedback, and how we can go about this Toastmasters, and how can we plan our next open house, or maybe how to plan an area open house. Over to you.
Wonderful. I'm going to let out a little secret. Meera ma'am had given me this answer, and that's why we are doing so well on time. And our moderator here, Archana, is already showing me signals that we are running actually on time. So over to the last question. So thank you, Meera ma'am. Yes, of course, planning your agenda, having it crisp, and making sure that we value the time that our guests have given to us, our audience has given to us. Thank you. That's a great insight here, Meera ma'am, which brings me to my last question to Arundhati. We've talked about talking about promoting our open houses, follow up with our open houses, planning them very well. But very often we also need to look at partnership with the organizations, the local organizations or businesses. Do you think it is important to partner with some local organizations or business to help amplify the open house events visibility and, of course, its appeal? Arundhati?
Thank you, Natasha. Apologies for any background noise. Somebody is literally opening their house in my building, so a lot of noise here. But partnering, coming to that, it's a little bit, anybody who's ever been to an ice cream parlor with a group of friends, you would know that there's an advantage of that, because everybody takes different flavors and you can taste all of those. So that's really how it is about partnership. You've got to leverage every opportunity to make a non-Toastmaster become aware of Toastmasters. That's the intent of an open house. And how we could do this is, if you're from a corporate club, so I come from a corporate club, so we know that there are other councils, communities that operate within a corporate, and whenever they have an event, you can leverage those opportunities to either do a session, or by Toastmasters, say they are organizing a panel discussion, you go ahead and conduct it and bring in your open house flavor in that. If there is a week-long corporate event that is scheduled, secure half a day to do a Toastmaster event and conduct it like an open house. So that's how you can effectively partner within an organization alongside other communities, councils, or sometimes even business units. If they have a 2-day-long offsite, go ahead and do a session on presentation by Toastmasters. That's a good way to promote it. Now, coming to a community club, if you operate in a setup in a locality within an apartment, make sure that you take advantage of associations like welfare associations, just local associations, partner with them, ensure you get the guests from their contacts as well. So that's how you can partner. Coming to college, never miss out on channelizing college fests, college events. Put a Toastmasters stall, do a session by Toastmasters, take advantage of other, collaborate with sports community. They can do a sports event and you can do a quick session to do the thank you and promote Toastmasters. So make use of all these other channels that are there, so that you're not eating on each other's footfalls, but you are actually leveraging each other's events to get the best from both sides, right? So that's how it can help. I realize Natasha might have dropped off. So yeah, I think Natasha will join us back. I'm sure she's opening the door of her house for somebody, and that's the reason she would have dropped off. But given she had given us an indication that this was the last. There, Natasha, you're back. Did you open the door of your house for somebody, Natasha?
No, I went to taste some ice cream.
Right, but I did answer that. So yes, 100% advantage of partnership. You can definitely leverage it to get more people to know about Toastmasters.
Awesome. I loved that. I loved how you started with ice cream and you got me excited about this, but also the idea of, the offsite. If you're having an offsite in your office, why not bring in Toastmasters? That's the best way to showcase those values. Great insight here, Arundhati. Very often we kind of feel stuck for ideas on how and where we can showcase our PR material besides social media. This has been great. Thank you all for such wonderful insights into the pre-planning of the event, how to bring in our prospects, how do we advertise Toastmasters, what are the various ways in which we can conduct an open house meeting. We've had some great answers from our panelists here. And I would now like to open the floor to our guests here, to our members here, for any questions that you may have. Feel free to raise your hand and I will just go around the room and invite you for questions. Any questions from the audience here? No questions means we've done a great job. We've answered all your questions. Okay, I have a question. Yes, Hiba? Hiba, feel free to unmute yourself, please.
Hello.
Yes, Hiba, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, so I would start off with saying that we have such a beautiful and inspirational panelists over here. Every word you say, I'm thinking of more and more ideas. And I just love the perception from different backgrounds of medicine, of aerospace. And I just have the feeling that you incorporate your communication so well that you have a different idea, a different perspective that we can also look into. And I really love the atmosphere itself. Uh, I'm from Sarjaya Toastmasters Club, a college club in Kodagara, Thrissur. And in there, our college club have deteriorated to fewer members as of now. And the reason why many members have gone out of the club was because of the exams, ACC exams coming up, and teachers being very stern on being in your class and not leaving your class. And many more rules that have come forward, especially when the bachelors have turned into 4 years. There is new rules that have come up in our college. With open houses, it's quite hard to actually convince our vice principal also, because of this new education system, as well as the students having not much time spending on such activities. So it's very hard to convince her and lots of other people. Like when we set up a stage, we need different letters to give. Keeping all that aside, it's all right to go through the hassle and make have the ability to keep all of it, but the members have lost their feeling towards Toastmasters as time went by. Because of these rules, we started backing off our energy towards the club. So whenever we want to come together, there's always something pulling us back. What if they won't allow? What if it doesn't turn out into a success? What if we are not good enough to be on stage and people will be there to listen? So is there any kind of motivation or a kind of analogy from your side that you would give to me, who is in need of such energy to be more interactive and to have a great team moving ahead with 8 members, that too? So I would like to ask that question to Arundhati Basu, Toastmaster Arundhati Basu.
Thank you so much, Heba. The real challenges and struggles of a college student. You just reminded me of my college days. So, the first thing I would say, and I'd answer probably your question backwards, but I firstly answer the part you said where you are now afraid that what if it doesn't land the right way. I'm going to tell you this one thing. As Toastmasters, whenever we do milestone meetings, we do open houses, we feel like we have to bring our best. There can be no mistakes. Everybody has to be chiseled and polished. I would honestly say that's a myth. When you walk into an open house as a guest, you don't, if you see a proficient speaker, you might be inspired. But if you see a speaker who's about there, who's trying to get on stage and really make a difference, that's relatable. So that is why that's more effective for a guest. So first thing I would say is don't even worry if you, it would be great if you will do well on stage. The fact that you went on stage and did something, that will inspire more students because they'll see a lot of them in you and they'd know, okay, it's a place where you don't have to be perfect. It's a place where you have to be passionate and you can learn. They'll help you learn. So that's the first thing you want to establish. Secondly, around the college rules and the restrictions that have come in, what I would say is it is very important that there is a proper conversation with your college authorities to portray Toastmasters not a hindrance to any bit of their curriculum, but actually as a catalyst to facilitate a lot of those curriculum. So, what you can do is reach out to your area director, division director, as well as the district. Ensure you have the support of some people who can have a conversation, figure out a timing and positioning of Toastmasters in a way that brings everybody together, does not hinder the curriculum at all. That could mean that instead of weekly, you meet once in 2 weeks, which is okay. But let's position it in such a way that you are able to then help the college prepare their students for the world that is waiting outside, and their communication is key. You can be a excellent student. If you can't speak your mind out, you're still going to struggle. So that's why you've got to showcase the benefits and get the college authorities on your side. That's very important. And we are all there to help you. So feel free to leverage the district officers to, have those discussions with your college, and never think you're not good enough. You're brilliant, and your college students will be more inspired by seeing one amongst them do so well. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arundhati. I think that was great. Heba, just to add on here, why don't you just bring in your vice principal to address the group of students at the open house? Because those, or bring in alumni from your club, which will help, people who have already benefited and have moved on. I think that would also help you bring in some more audience for and convince the management that this is something that everybody needs. Thank you. Okay, we have another question. We have another question which I would like to do, which came in on chat to me personally. How do you explain value for money to potential guests? How do you explain value for money? Usha ma'am.
This is when, we do it in a demo meeting when we conduct. They ask, is the Toastmaster pricing is very high. I bring it down to the 1 week expense of a tea and a masala dosha. So, so I tell them, you spend just, if it's a good restaurant, you go and have a masala dosha and a coffee, it's almost 250 rupees, right? So that much cost, that is the only cost for the joining a Toastmaster. So I bring it down to that, that one, because even college students, they go at least once in a week to a hotel for having food. Of course, they must be spending more than 250, but I bring down that kind of a calculation. So this calculation varies as the Toastmaster price increases, but then we have to make it to, instead of masala dosa, we may have to make it to some, fried rice or something. I don't know. But I bring down to that, everybody is very fond of food, different types of food. So I bring down the price to that, to their interest level and tell them.
Wonderful. Yes, ma'am. And to that, you can add to the fried rice, you can add the Starbucks coffee. One outing for a movie and a Starbucks coffee, and you spend way more than what you would spend in a 1 month of Toastmaster membership. Absolutely. And Toastmaster membership benefit is not something which is just for one evening. It is something that you carry with you for years and years to come in both your personal and professional journey, which our esteemed panel here showcased right here today. Thank you so much for that insight, Usha ma'am. There is a question which is directed at me on please elaborate about the open house awards. Yes, those are actually were posted on all our social media channels, and I'm shamelessly going to plug in all our social media channels. Please follow the district channels on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and YouTube. We have left nothing that we cannot, and LinkedIn. We just had an amazing podcast session yesterday. So please follow us on all our social media channels. Coming to the Open House Award, we have an open house citation, which is when a club conducts an open house and adds 8 members within 45 days of conducting the open house, you are entitled to the open house citation. Besides that, of course, there are Toastmaster membership growth awards like the Smedley Award, the Talk Up Toastmasters Beat the Clock Award for adding members. And very soon, watch our space for more. There are more club growth awards which are coming up. So do follow us on all channels for all the awards that are being posted by our district. I hope that answers the question. Do we have any more questions from our audience here today? Okay, I do have another interesting question. Yes, there is a question on YLP, but that is really not part of the limits of this panel discussion. We could address this separately. You can reach out to your area director, club division director for specifics on the YLP program. Okay, very interesting question came up on the registration form. We are conducting an open house in a public space. And what can you do to attract a passerby, someone who's walking past, maybe out there to have an ice cream, to be part of your meeting and take a look for a couple of minutes? How do we attract a passerby when you're hosting a meeting in a public place? Abhijit, would you like to answer that question? You're out with your wife for a dinner and or for an evening, for a lunch, and you see a Toastmaster meeting. What is it that will attract you to go in and take a look?
I think that's a good point. For an example, if when we have done the events in the open house events, like in the park, I remember Kormangala did in a Kabban Park. The one of the thing they did quite cleverly was they involved most of the members. They divided the members in groups. They were aware whom they want to address, who are their target audience, and they did kind of a campaign where they had a kind of a t-shirts they were able to manage, and it was written like, afraid of public speaking, let's fix it. There was another t-shirt that was shared, uh, afraid of public speaking, ask me how to fix it. And these kind of t-shirts were circulated. These people were just walking in a group, and they were talking to the people. They were trying to do a kind of they were just trying to have ice breaking with the people, and they got a few members who came to that particular place, and they had a quite interaction. I think they were able to convert 10 or 20% of these cold leads, or I will say prospect to a cold lead, that they were able to do. So probably it's all about involving more members. And then it's about Toastmasters. You're not going to be in isolation and introvert. You need to be an extrovert. You need to talk to the people. You will be able to make it happen. I will say not a grand success, but there is a possibility you can make it happen.
Great idea about the t-shirts. I'm going to add that to the ideas about PR that Arundhati has shared. I see a lot of our clubs which have personalized t-shirts, club t-shirts, and that merchandise is something that evokes a question. What is this? We have a lot of merchandise available which the district also promotes, which is there on our the Toastmaster Our vendor for Toastmasters, Muscorado, also has a lot of, and of course, there are a lot of awards to be won, which will help you win all those merchandise. And that is a great idea, Abhijit, to attract those passers-by. Thank you so much. Yes, CP, you have a question? That's be the last question for the day today. Yes, CP. Can't unmute.
Thanks for the opportunity, Natasha. So one thing which we did a couple of years back was to, and if at all we are doing,
Did we lose him?
give them a topic, and then we used to book ₹100 book wrapped in a good this thing, or maybe a pen, something, and we'll keep it so open for them, for anybody to walk in. So when onlookers are there, and then maybe they'll be interacting with somebody, then we just ask them to come in and take a small topic, maybe the lunch you had, what made you come to the park, something which is just like that. Give them a book or a pen or something, and then invite them to come to our next session. So that makes it very easy for.
I'm sorry, I think we're losing him, or is it just me? Okay, but I think the takeaway that I had was have some freebies besides those flyers, have some freebies, have some giveaways for your guests, a small keychain which has Toastmasters. So there's a retention after they have left the open house, and there is something that for them to take away. All right, one question I have, which I would like to direct to one last question maybe. Okay, we have two. To our program quality director, is Speechcraft versus open house, which is a better way to build our membership? Speechcraft versus open house, which is a better way to get membership? To our program quality director, distinguished Toastmaster Gokul.
Thank you so much, Natasha. That's in fact a wonderful question that you asked. So my answer to that, while it is complex to answer, a simple answer to that would be to analyze what the ground situation is and then take a call accordingly. It's a very complex answer to give, but because we have very limited time, this is what I would recommend. Let's say if it is a corporate setting and the company is not ready to jump right into understanding what Toastmasters is, Speechcraft is a module that we could propose to them. However, the same concept may not quite work in colleges across the geographies in District 121 due to various reasons, the costs involved, etc. So my answer to your question would be to understand what the ground situation is and then take a call accordingly. We have had a lot of clubs that have been chartered through Speechcraft in District 121. And we have had a lot of clubs which gave us the opportunity to do demo meetings directly and thus have the clubs chartered. So it's a mix of both that we need to look at, Natasha. It's a wonderful question that you asked. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Gokul. And I hope that answers your question. Yes, again, coming back to look at what your audience wants. What is it? Who is the target audience that you're looking at? And of course, Speechcraft and Open House are great ways of either chartering a new club or building membership of your existing club. We did have a last question. I know I've been saying last for the last 3 questions, but I promise you this is our very last question, which is important in today's time. And that's why I've chosen to take up this question. Open house in an online meeting. How good does an open house in an online meeting and the promotion of an online open house, how well does that work? Over to Arundhati to answer that.
Thank you, Natasha. Yes, absolutely. I was part of a virtual only club for some time, so surely can tell it does work. It's important to identify your target audience for this. So if you are doing an open house in an online meeting, you are probably aiming towards individuals who do not have the bandwidth to come for an in-person meeting, and they can only attend virtual at a time. Probably that's convenient to them. So couple of things to keep in mind for that. One is the quality. Just because it's an online meeting, the quality cannot drop down. You still have to have enough things planned to give your guests the chance to speak, for them to feel included, for them to get the community vibe, and really deliver what Toastmasters can cater to in terms of structuring, so that you can showcase that it's the best use of their time. Second thing for an online meeting, open house in an online setup, is make it at a time that is convenient for everyone. Make it probably after work hours, so that a lot of people can join in, ask members to get +1s. And while promoting it, you can really take the leverage and take the advantage of it being an online forum. For example, you can promote it by saying, enjoy this from the comfort of your home, because it's online. Cannot make it in person. Say if it was in Bangalore, you probably want to say, tired of Bangalore traffic, join us on Zoom. That's the way you can promote it. Make it catchy. That's a place where you've got to go and showcase that online is important. And also you can say things like, struggling with virtual presentations, learn from us how. So these, you had to showcase the advantages of a virtual forum, have a good audience, a well-planned agenda. So all of that holds good. The crux is that you've got to showcase that you can become an expert in the field of communication through an online mode as well, and know your target audience well.
Awesome, wonderful. Thank you so much, Arundhati. Yes, hybrid is the new normal, and it is best that we learn how to be effective communicators in an online mode as well as in an offline mode. Thank you for that answer, and which I promised, brings us to the end of the question answer session. But if you do have more questions, feel free to reach out to the CGD office. The email cgd@d121toastmasters.org. And the recording of this meeting will be shared on our YouTube channel. Our district PR manager is already giving me those thumbs up that yes, that's going to happen very soon. Resources for open house for distribution to all our clubs will be collated, will be put together and shared with all our club officers soon after this session today. And thank you once again to each and every one of you for joining us here on this virtual platform to learn about how you can unlock growth and strategies for successful open house. This session would not have been possible without our esteemed panel. I am so grateful to our panelists, Distinguished Toastmaster Usha Rajan, Distinguished Toastmaster Meera Rao, Distinguished Toastmaster Arundhati Basu, and Distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit Singh, for being part of this panel and for sharing so nicely and so eloquently, so openly, sharing their ideas and their experience on conducting effective open houses. A big round of thank you to our tech moderator, the man behind the scene, Toastmaster Ashwin AR, who made this meeting totally seamless with all the spotlighting, all the timing, and that he's been doing behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for all your support. And of course, a big round of gratitude to our District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita Salian, our Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Gokul Menon, and all the district leaders that have personally taken the time out to be here today and encouraged your clubs to be part of this meeting here today. I'm looking forward to more growth for your clubs, for the district, and for each one of us as we unlock the strategies and learn from the strategies that have been shared in this open house session today. With that, I'd like to hand over the virtual floor to our very charming MC for today, Toastmaster Archana.
Thank you. What a wonderful discussion this was. If there's one takeaway that I learned throughout the session, it's that when we do an open house, I think it's about showcasing what they will benefit from Toastmasters rather than highlighting ourselves or what eloquent speakers we are. So thank you for that. In fact, I'm planning an open house soon for 2 of my clubs. So this was so relatable. And I do hope all of you found value. I just wanted to check, all of you have been here with us for the past 60 minutes or so. Why don't we click a picture? If you can all come on camera, it'll be great, both for our social media channel as well as for us too. Can you all switch on your cameras so we can click a picture?
Wonderful thinking, Archana. That is the reason why we have you as our MC.
Thank you.
I did not want to miss this, but I may have slipped it. Thank you so much to our very amazing MC who agreed to take on this is the power of Toastmasters, right? Last night at 8 p.m., I told her, Archana, could you please MC this event for us? And look what a great job we've done here with Archana, our area director of Area A4. Thank you, Archana, for stepping in and for being such a wonderful moderator of the session today. Yes, we have lots of cameras. I wish we had done this earlier.
Yes.
We should do a pre-session photo and a post-session photo. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Ashwin, if you can help us with the pictures, please.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they brought Ashwin also on camera when you said, let's take a picture.
All right, everybody in 3, 2, 1, say District 121.
District
121.
All right. We are done with one. Okay.
All the screens?
1 second. We'll have to do it again. Once again in 3, 2, 1. Everybody say District 121.
District
121. District 121.
All right. Yes, Nitasha, we are done with all the screens.
Back to Archana.
Thank you. I know Natasha thanked all of you, but yes, from the Office of CGD as well as Toastmasters and District 121, I want to thank all of you personally for being here, making this a grand success, and especially for the panelists, because I think it is your experience that has brought in so many new perspectives that we didn't probably know existed, especially, those Bollywood themes and like Arundhati said, collaborating. All these things are so many, points that we can take away. Apart from that, yes, you heard our Club Road director say we'll be posting the recording on our YouTube channel. If you need more information regarding the awards, we did have a couple of questions on that. Do follow us on social media and or reach out to us at the CGD office. So thanking the office of the Club Road director for initiating the discussion. And we're well on time, Natasha. So yes, that was excellent time management. Thank you all. And I do hope you have a wonderful Saturday ahead. Natasha, anything else that you'd like to add?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for keeping us on track. You really helped us walk the talk. We didn't just talk about having a good agenda and sticking on time. We actually made it possible in our session here today. So thank you, Archana. Back to you.
Thank you, and all have a wonderful rest of the day and a wonderful Sunday tomorrow. I want to thank our district director, distinguished Toastmaster Savita. She was here, and your presence itself is something that adds so much value. And our distinguished Toastmaster Gokul, our program quality director. Thank you all, and I'll see you around in one of the club contests or club meetings and
open houses.
And open houses. Yes, I was about to add that. Yes, more open houses. Here's to more open houses. Have a wonderful day ahead, all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.